And greetings and salutations as always. And welcome to the Logic Lounge with Fleazy Jones. That's me. Episode 93. Brought to you by my brother Block Legend 7. The tunes you hear in the background for episode 93 is from my guest today, born in New York, I believe Bronx. And he's now taken over not just the world, but Tampa, Florida. He has on the chokehold, in a chokehold, rather. And that's the homie Pusha Preme. Quick story, while I wait the gentleman to get in, I know he's extremely busy. I actually spoke with this brother, I want to say about a year ago. He actually reached out to me. And we couldn't get the schedule together because if you look on his page and you see his attributes, you'll understand why. Because the man has been working extremely hard. Um, I honestly can't describe this brother's style. He definitely, as of lately, been doing the Afrobeat thing. But this man, he has a versatility. He definitely makes you dance. He makes you think. He got some shit to say. He definitely got something to talk about, and that's why I wanted to get that brother in here. But shouts out to Will Gamble, the plug as well, who reintroduced me to the brother because time got away from me as well to where I didn't even connect. This was the same brother that I had spoke to a year, well, via DM on Instagram a year ago. So we linked up for today. But this dude, man, is all over. When I say all over, he is making extreme noise. Millions of streams on Apple Music, millions of streams on Spotify. The man is going up for an award as we speak. So there's a lot of things going on with Pusha Preme, man. So wanted to get that brother in here and speak to him about his journey thus far. The man is like a workaholic. And it looked like, the brother has came into the building. Without further ado, let's bring that man up.
And you come and he came in with the sickness. This, 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 this. I'm gonna let that simmer for a bit, P. AKA Global P, AKA Tequila Titan. Pusha, brother, I truly appreciate this. I was just saying before you came in, man, and shouts out to Will Gamble, the plug, man. I didn't even realize, brother, we had conversed a year ago. Let me tell y'all how real this dude Preem is, man. The man reached out to me. One thing about it, I got nothing but respect for somebody that grinds and actually doesn't forget about those that's trying to grind as well, brother. So I owe you a thank you, man. I didn't even know when Will Gamble said and was like, yo, you know him? And I looked, and by the time I hit the message, I'm like, wait a minute. This the same brother that reached out to me. And it's been going crazy. First and foremost, dude, congratulations. 1 million streams
Thank
on
you.
Spotify.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. I owe that to the people that that support me and keep the thing going. So big shout out to them for real.
My dude, you have been a workaholic. When I say, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are born in Brooklyn, correct? That's
No,
the,
born in the Bronx. Born in the
oh,
Bronx.
born in the Bronx. Okay. And then you went to Florida.
Yeah, then I went to Queens, and then from Queens I went to Florida.
My dude, you have been killing it. So my first question to you that I want to know, because there's so much, it's a lot, man. You're like a living onion, brother. You have so many layers. This is going to be one of the most interesting interviews that I've had the pleasure of having, brother.
All right.
What got you into the world of music? How did Pusha Preme become Pusha Preme?
So I used to be really heavy into poetry. So I'm a very like shy, reserved person. So that was like my way to like talk to females. And then in high school, battle rap was like really, really, really big. And during that time, like that's how they would like try to like pick fun at me. They just be like, "Oh, you with the poetry, da da da," and I just be like, it's the same shit. I just didn't understand it until my cousin came down, rest in peace, and then he put me on to the show called the Lyricist Lounge Show. It was on MTV. It would show me how like kind of like how to defend myself as a poet to these rappers. And then he introduced me to the Marshall Mathers LP, and then I was just like studying and then understanding like the double entendres, similes, things like that. I just fell in love with just the art of just like putting words together. That's where it all started. And then musically, like I come from a very music family. Like my grandfather played the guitar. I have another uncle that sings in church and stuff like that. So I have like a very eclectic family when it comes to music. So we listen to everything from African music to Buju Banton to Beanie Man to Mary J. Blige to Nas, whatever you think of that my mom always played it. Except country, she wasn't really big in the country until she got older.
Dude, the way you broke this down, it's understandable because, like I say, when I listen to your music, man, for one, I didn't know you had that much. Holy shit, your catalog is crazy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Nah, man, you are a workaholic. I absolutely mean that, and it's just a respect thing, man. I want to break down what I found, and please correct me for those I didn't. Please, he took his notes. One of my favorites, and to my understanding, it's the first thing that popped out in my research. I don't like to ask the artists themselves. I like to dig myself to show that I am paying attention. I want to talk about time.
You're the fourth person to do that. Yeah, time. That was my first record.
2017.
I was going through some shit during time. God damn, I was
And
going through some shit.
and correct me if I'm wrong, P. Two songs that stuck out to me that I wanted to get an elaboration from you of where you were mentally and emotionally when doing this
Talking about
is, and they back to back. Every day and other self seems very personal. Seems like there's no lying to both of those songs. And other self had a feature from one of your peoples,
yeah.
but I'm listening to what you're saying. Where were you during the time that you created Time, the album, and specifically those songs?
I just moved back down from New York. So we went to New York to we started the company over there musically, and then my brother at the time he stopped doing music, and then I still had a kid in Florida, so I had to restart my whole life all back again in Tampa. But during that time, I was like couch surfing, trying to find myself, rebuilding everything from scratch. It was a lot of those corner moments, It's like
Yeah.
reflect, just trying to like do what I can, Uber here and there, do favors here and there, cut grass, just pay studio time. As a grown man, I'm not in my 20s. You know what I'm saying, so it was definitely humbling, definitely a humbling experience.
When you came with that title, and it means it's acronym for those that don't know of things I must earn. Please tell me where did you? Because I'm a big fan of acronyms, my dude.
Oh, that's
So when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have him talk about this. Like, where did he come? What did you mean by that? Like, what's the science behind that title?
That's a great question. So, because Preme is an acronym as well too. So, my at one point in time, like I wasn't like a big believer in time. I thought time was just like man-made measurement, blah 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 blah, right? But the thing is like me like moving back down here from from New York and having that situation to where we was talking to Live Nation and it didn't fall through. I felt like maybe we was just like taking shortcuts, like just like trying to just be like more marketed and more cool and more that, not really putting the time in. And then I always told myself that like if I do put out a project, these are the things I must earn to be able to like win people's respect. You know what I'm saying? Because going for a group, having the group split, people are gonna favor one side than the other, kind of like the clip situation. So I never wanted that for us. That's why I don't really like talk about the situation too much because I don't want people hating on him or get mad at him or trying to compare the situation. It's just that time happened for that reason, and it created what we have today. So I'm appreciative for it. You know.
You have a real genuine spirit. And when you put your music together and put it out, I can tell it's almost like a different person
Mm.
in a way. I found it like the positive version of a puppet master. Like I want you to feel whatever I want you to feel at the time. Rude Love is the newest single that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Instant Jam. Instant Jam. Although if you listen to what you said, it ain't meant for you to dance, man. You don't care how that made me feel. Now
Yeah.
everybody thinking, they drinking it. I'm like, yo, this dude has something to say, man. It's so much to you. So my next question to you, brother, how did you come with the image, the mask, and the whole look? How did that come about?
So when I moved back down here, I didn't. My daughter was like, 'cause I had a kid very early, so she's in high school. So I didn't want to be like the rap dad, you know what I'm saying? But it's just something I just had a passion for, just creating music. Even if I didn't make a dime of it, I'll still be doing it. So, um, I always felt like when I was in New York, I had to be an artist 24/7. If I went to the grocery store, I had to make sure I had like a cool shirt on. I had to, you know what I'm saying? Like in fear, if you saw me and I wasn't like up to par, that you would think I fall off. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
like a New York mentality. And I just felt like it was just a lot of pressure, and people wasn't respecting privacy. So I come from an era of privacy. You know what I mean? Like I think once the phone started developing more and more and more, privacy wasn't like really a thing. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was just like putting everything out there. And I caught myself doing it too. I used to do blogs and stuff like that. And then people would be like, "Oh yeah, it was just like describing things that's happening like that's in my room and stuff like that." And I just felt like that was the one thing that we had as people, like, is privacy. You know what I'm saying? People have doors for a reason.
yeah,
And I was talking to, at the time she was my girlfriend and she's my wife now. I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I just don't want the attention. I don't want anybody to like rock with the music because they rock with my personality, or rock with the music because I have like a fashion sense, or rock with it. I don't want no other influence except you hear it, you like it, and then I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I grew up on music. I didn't know what Busta Rhymes looked like until I saw him on, like, you know what I'm saying, on TV or whatever. I just
facts.
and then I just went from there. So and I saw how they crucify Michael. You know what I'm saying? I see how they crucify artists all the time. A lot of these women, they change their image up, they get their lips done, their body done, and they get shamed for the way they look. And that's the culture of artistry. So I was like, how can I protect that one thing that I could have with my family? And I was watching an interview with MF Doom, and our stories were synonymous. He had a brother, I had a brother.
Yeah,
His brother passed away. My brother didn't pass away. We stopped making music, so that conjoint that we had is gone. He became the middle face Doom, and I became Pusha Preme. And I've always been making clothes, shirts, drawn shoes, fondling with like masks and things like that. So like I don't really look at Pusha Preme as a mask. Every particular Preme that you're seeing is from a particular album. Like when me and Katrina's working on them, it's like we don't make it for the masses. Everything has like a story to tell within it. So every album has that. So the last album, Heroes Eventually Die, that showed you all of everybody, like all encompassing, all in one, and then making that transition from like from Florida like back to Africa. That's why that album has all of the Afrobeat stuff like that on it. To show like all these people are the same people. It's not like I'm not making it to like look cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it because it's like this is my artistic expression. You know what I'm saying? So like the Vikings, right? If the Vikings like murder somebody, like they take an arm and they put the arm and they connect it to their head and they walk around. You know what I mean?
fact.
But I'm African, so in my culture, like that's how they celebrate. We have these things called gongalis, and they're like wooden masks. You know what I'm saying? We put them in their house and stuff like that. So it just kind of just like I feel like just full circle moment.
So it's all natural. I like something you said there. You found a way to still protect your family as far as not necessarily showing your face unless you want to. Because I think I did see a video where you had the mask on the table as you were, or at least I thought that was you conversing with the lady, and then at the end you grabbed the mask and you walked
That was
away.
Dead So. Yeah, no, that was Dead So. So originally when me and Dead So started working, he wanted to play off the fact that it's just like, so do you remember that old commercial when it's just like, I am Tiger Woods, I am Tiger Woods, and people just kept saying it.
Yeah.
He wanted to do something to where it's like everybody could be Pusha Preme, which is true. It's just really just taking the creativity to like the next level and really just focusing on the expression of it. So no, that's my man Smoke 100.
Okay.
So we put the video so we can like illustrate that, and then at the end of the video, that's when I pop up. Like the song.
Okay. I thought I was, because like I say, I'm digging, P. I'm digging. So I'm looking like this man has a true story to tell. Before we got to Heroes Eventually Die, from my notes here, I noticed that Time was in 2017.
Yeah.
There was a gap there.
Yeah, there's another album out there. So I was falsely managed by this girl named Tisha, and then we had an album called Blame the Skies for My Waters Being Blue,
Okay.
and then she had uploaded it, but she had the control could have uploaded it, and then when she stopped and we parted ways, she took it down. But it's still, for some reason, it's still on Spotify. So we was thinking about it for. It's so funny to mention that. Well, I just came back from New York from a wedding, and then it was like, yo, like we gotta redrop that, you know, because they're inspired by how Travis redropped Days of the Rodeo. But when we dropped Lake Scott, that was like my introduction to like understanding like merch and single sales and packaging and bundling, because you know we do an event that was themed around that. So we had cassette tapes. So the cassette tapes would say like first edition on it, but the cassette tapes were blue. Then at the venue we put like, you know, like these foam clouds with like the clouds, and then we had a projector in the back, but the projector was just playing the sky back and forth. Then we had a drink, it was like a blue hurricane, and then we had shirts to go with it. It was like all themed behind Blame the Skies, you know. So that was
You
like
put the whole thing to
twist
it.
on that one. And I was like, oh shit, I like doing this. It makes me want to make more music because I want to make more accessories to kind of go with it.
Okay. I'm a complete stranger. How would you, to this stranger, describe your style?
I say it's Afro fusion.
Afro. You never heard of that. I ain't never heard of that. You, when you're creating music, is there a certain method that you use? Is there a certain mood you have to be in? Are you a go with the flow type of person, which I already feel like that's a no. But when creating, what do you do to get in that Pusha Preme mode that I hear in every song I've heard so far?
It's I would say mainly the production. The production kind of like it just tells me like what to say, how to approach it. It just gives me like the direction. And the stories like I've already kind of like the stories are just memoirs of things that happened. So it's like you know, once we get like one line in there, then it just kind of like falls in there. So we'll say a line, will be like been around the world and I. Been around the world and I. Been around the world and I. And they been player hating. I don't know what, I don't know why. Say that. Then I'll hear it. Then I'll think about that. Like that's like the template of like what we're talking about in the conversation. Then we'll just piece it in from there. You know what I mean? Shouts to Alex Romero, Scott the Engineer, Anonymous, like anybody who's worked with me, like Soda Swisher. It's like it does take time to get it to get it done, but it's like they understand that like I'm not coming there to like to just give them like a regular music session. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna turn ourselves into instruments and add on to what we have here. You know?
It's a journey. Every song I've heard has taken me on a journey.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, man, I appreciate you, brother. Like, again, I have to give you props for somebody with the type of motion that you have. you have a real genuine spirit. You're just a genuine dude. You mentioned that you were shy at the beginning of this talk, and I'm like, where? Where exactly is this shy? Because, like I say, you move, I want to move. When you're angry, I want to get it. That to me is what I feel is the culture of music, specifically hip hop. In the way when I was coming up, I wanted to know what this person was once I heard the song, and that's exactly what happens when I hear you. You see what I used for the promo, Winnie. I was like, yo, instantly, and I'm flicking, just doing hard, and I had to flick, and I came back down. Before I knew it, I went and downloaded the song. Instant. Because as you move, I want to move. That takes a different type of skill. With you saying, going back to how you started the image, and that's genius how you were able to protect who you are as a person and still entertain the fans. Is there a difference between Global P and the person?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the person not is not he's not as like emotionally driven, more logical, more reserved. You know, because I've just been through so much. It's just like nothing really like um nothing shocks me, and I understand that like I was just in that midst of an era to where it's like I was able to experience so many things, and then just my upbringing and stuff like that. So, but you know, I try to be more of like a fly on the wall than anything else, you know. And they just put my tidbits when I need to put my tidbits, and just kind of just chill and fall back and observe, you know. And
Yeah.
Preme is
With that,
more
how
energetic.
did it how did it feel when it got real? Like, dude, you're out there. There's no way that you can be that fly on the wall. You know what I mean? You have real motion. So when did it set in that, oh shit, this Pusha Preme shit is real? When did it get real?
Sometimes like if I have those like self doubt moments, and then like somebody like randomly gives me a call and be like, hey, I just want to let you know I've been praying for you, and I saw the show that you guys did for G Easy at St. Pete, and because for me it's just work, you know what I mean? It's like the most Kobe-est thing to say is just like the job's not done. Like I won't be there until I'm able to like build a facility to where I can have artists educate themselves, help them with their business, get them their LLC, and then just create this generational pyramid for everybody to kind of like come in and be out of. So it's like it'll never be enough until I can just become like a landmark for what I'm doing, you know. To come here and like have everybody with the whole like Tampa will win, and everyone's like more prideful about Tampa, having other artists like you know throw a mask on or just do creative things with their facial expression to illustrate their artists. Like all of that's just like I feel like it's the vessel for those things to happen. But for me, I want to build the infrastructure so that people don't have to go through the stuff that I have to go through to get to this point. And it's like a lot of trial and error. Now I know
Yeah.
that like I know the game so well from an independent standpoint. It's like okay, if I knew these steps back then when I had more time, more energy, and I didn't have children, then I would have like progressed a lot faster. I would have enjoyed it more. But it's hard to do it when you have to like fight with time all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I saw a video, and I believe that background said Cuba, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait,
It,
Cuba?
it looked like a Cuba wall. It was actually
Oh,
the reel that you had.
that's an Ebor.
Yeah.
That's an yeah. The Give Up on Me video.
What what's that like being in the States and becoming a global sensation? What is that like for you?
Well, I mean, it's I don't take the chance to stop and smell the flowers. To be honest with you, I just want to do this enough to where it could just buy me more time with my family. So, um, I get more joy when people like Caleb Music, He Rises, or Yism, or like me and Tom G, and I get him like his first like million plaque, like things like that. Is what I would just be like, you get that like, that head nod from that Batman movie where it was Alfred and him in another country, and he's just like a newspaper, like that's what it is for me, man. Because I just want I just want to put it out there and then just inspire as many people as possible. It's just like I had no idea this would be like where I'm at. What I'm saying? I was literally couch surfing, Ubering, and doing odd jobs just to like to pay for studio time. Then to be able to like work with Alex Romero, then to be able to have my live band. And, what I'm saying? Even with the situation I'm in right now at a Vox studio, we're just like, hey, like we're gonna block the time off for you guys so you guys can practice. We have two shows coming up. We open for Gucci on Saturday, and on Sunday we do a flag party. So it's like it's all God's plan. So I just hope that whoever's watching and here for the journey could just learn from that, for me, and feel like you don't have to like choose like school or the office job and stuff like that to find like internal happiness. Just work towards something really hard and stay consistent, and then things will manifest itself.
The more I talk, brother, I'm not saying the shy man. Uh, you're very, very intelligent.
I appreciate that.
No, we appreciate you, man. I know I speak for at least half of the people that's in here right now. I know they have a certain level of respect for you and what you do, and you're speaking so selfless. You're looking to do it for other people. I want to go back to the shy guy because, like I said, I want to kind of break down the layers as much as I can of who you are. How did you personally break that and still be able to share yourself with the world? You spoke of your brother, rest in peace, which in a lot of times would be a stopping point for anybody. How did you keep going?
Um, it was just something that I just enjoyed doing. So, like, I like being able to like, you know, just like the way music makes my whole aura feel. I can't ignore it. You know what I'm saying? I can't ignore hearing like a bass drum. I can't ignore hearing like a good solo. I can't ignore hearing like a great kick, a great flow. Like it's just it's just something that I feel like that's a part of me. It's like basketball to like Michael Jordan, or track and field to Noah Lyles. Like it's something that feels like embedded in my DNA. So I can't ignore it, and it's like the easiest thing I can tap into without having to do too much. Like I've tried to play basketball collegiately, I tried to play football, I tried the whole school thing, I tried like the working world thing, and like those things don't really like they don't last. And I'm like it's like I'm good at it, but it's just like the motivation for me to continue going is not there. And I'm somebody where it's just like if I'm not motivated to do stuff like that, it's like I'm good, and it'll show. I can't hide that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
People just like doing it for the money. I can't do that. I just be like I'm not really fucking with this right now. You know. But music has never made me feel that way. Being on the stage has never made me feel that way. Looking at them with new engineers and making these records from scratch and like having conversations and be like, yeah, I want to make a song called My Friend, so that like when kids would go to school, they'd be like, yeah, that's my friend, my friend, my friend. And then it reminded me like when I used to go to the bodega, and then every bodega I went to in New York was always like, my friend, my friend. So it was like on them as well too. So
yeah,
to do that and that song do really well and like people like gravitate towards it's crazy, because it's like it's this whole my friend thing with the situation with this female, but then the tail end is just like how that situation kind of like made me still feel some kind of way and how I'm trying to get over it.
yeah. Dude, this is I I can't. I didn't have expectations for you. I did, but if I did, you overthrown them.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Yeah,
You
yeah,
just you super chill, brother. And like I say, I have to repeat, man. This man with that motion, he had initially reached out to me, like wanting to talk to a brother that was just. I'm just now getting a different type of motion. So to know that you were willing to share your story even back then, and it took us about a year to link. Man, this is better than I'd ever imagined, and this can't be your only time here because that people like you, and I've been so lucky to have these type of people come to the lounge. People like you need to be protected. You are literally doing music so that the next person can be inspired. You're telling me you're doing songs so that the people that help you do the songs, they can get the play. I mean, I'll wait. How many artists are talking like that?
Mm.
How many artists are talking like that? And you dead ass mean it. I'm
Yeah,
looking at you.
I always tell people I'm way more John Stockton than I am Karl Malone. I'm way more Scotty because like the thing is like when you do it for yourself and stuff like that, it just breeds too many enemies. You know what I'm saying? It's just like then the thing about it is like when you get awards, you're not giving yourself the award. Someone is giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're getting honored by your peers, but how can you be honored by your peers when you feel like you're bigger than the movement? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sit. And I wasn't raised like that, so for me, it's like weird energy when I see people do that. But I get it though. It's like some people have been in positions to where they've been insecure for a long time, or they have like issues and demons. I've dealt with them shits a long time ago, so it's like the person you see here was the same person that was 17. You know, the same person that moved back to the Bronx and had to start all over again as an adult. The same person that moved back to Tampa and had to humble himself and stay with his mans and have, my kids in the living room, on the same couch that I'm sleeping on. You know what I'm saying? To now for me having like, I'm blessed. Like I have my home, I have my wife and stuff like that, and kids in college. So and I'm still young. So it's like it's I give up to God, man. Without Him, I wouldn't be here. So it would behoove me to take all of the glory when it was just basically just sprinkled down from like good blessings. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the more people understand that, the easier the journey is. You know what I'm saying? You like you don't want to go against the current. I get it. Like don't be the wave, but you kind of want to follow like life's gonna give you a bunch of hints and like the past gonna give you a lot of patterns and you'll be able to kind of like see through the matrix and get to how you got to get to. Literally because like for as much love as I get from Tampa, I've only been here since 2015. It's not like I've been here my whole life, and they show super love, you know what I mean? So, and that's when I noticed that it's like, yeah, like I tell people, like Tampa's like it's the home of second chances, it's the melting pot for everybody, for Northerners that want to come down here, for Southerners that want to understand how to like when people's like, oh, it's too slow down here. I mean, that's not really like a thing, but it's like life is faster than New York because it's like you always have to work, you always have to travel. It's in the cities, so everything's like closed in. You can
Yeah.
still have the same mentality in the South. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, well, if you're gonna take this hour drive, like watch something that's gonna like watch something educational, learn something, have a conversation with someone you haven't heard spoke to in a long time. Like make the most out of that journey that you have going on, or just kind of get the landscape going on and be like, damn, there's a lot of land here. I wonder who owns this. Maybe I should like take out a loan and buy this land and kind of sit on it and see what's going on from there. You know what I'm saying? So just like little things like that that I feel like Tampa I try to bestow to people because like living in New York and dealing with like state tax and all this other stuff and like you can't park, you got to park over here, you got to circle 8 times, you got to move cheaper. Like it's just unnecessary like
Yeah.
inconveniences when Tampa is like so much more smoother. So I always tell people like if you've never been to Tampa, come out of Tampa. We have like 3 beaches. Like we have like some of the cheapest bars in the world. We have like some of the best bartenders out here, speakeasies, food and beverages. I mean the Bucks is alright, but the Yankees play here, so it's like you know
Right.
what I'm saying. Like it's a definitely a dope spot to where if you're in that midpoint in your life to where don't want to start a family or don't want to like continue being me, it gives you the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
And there's so many different entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? Like look at these guys here. These guys here just bought the speaker for tonight's session. So it's like it's just like you don't have to do that. He's like, hey, the band's here. He's like, okay, cool. Let me go get a speaker. Once speaker's out, I'm gonna buy one. You know what I'm saying? So, but that type of entrepreneur mind state is what Tampa's energy is about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But with you and your energy is tenfold. It's tenfold. So it complements each other because you pretty much explained it to me because I definitely wanted to know the transition from coming from somewhere like the Bronx and going to Florida. That's a transition. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's a different type of transition, but you just broke that down. And it made me want to ask you, P. You seem to be, and shout out to my brother Block Legend 7, who was adamant about the youth. You speak about the youth. So let me ask you, uh, what advice would you give to a younger person that wants to get into the game as far as steps? What is it that you would suggest that they do to get it going?
I think the first thing you got to do is you got to know yourself. You know what I mean? Like who's your audience, who you speaking to. So I know for me, it's like I speak to the creatives and I speak to individuals who want to have like the duality of a personal life and then do music. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people could relate because it's like, well, I can't do it because of my kids, or I can't do it because of my wife, or I can't do it because of my girlfriend. And it's like that's the journey. That's the beautiful part of it, because if you're able to have like a stable job and fund it, then you'll get a lot further than someone who doesn't have nothing and they're relying on investors or relying on like advanced deals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So um, I think that's the first thing that people have to do is just really understand who to speak to. And it's okay if you don't know right now. It's not okay if you're only doing it for the money, because like then your demographic would never be stable, because like the currency is always changing. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
What was cool now is not cool back then. So and then just basically just like really just focus on like the fans. Like don't be so much like bent on just like I mean, being the best is dope. That's a dope skill to build, but you definitely want to understand like the 100 fan theory, because without the fan, you're always gonna feel like you're not good enough. But you can have 100 fans that spend 20 hours with you every quarter, and then you know what I'm saying, like that would be enough revenue for you to kind of keep your music going. Bands do it all the time, like rock bands and stuff like that. So that's the only gems I thought I would give them. Everything else you'll learn along the way. You know what I mean?
Na- I'll see this people. Natural. Natural. I'm learning a better word than humble, but for lack of better, I will definitely say you get your humbleness to the max. Like you just have a real peaceful soul. Like I could feel it. You just and you're literally doing what you're doing. People are dreaming of, and you're acting like you're just going to the store to grab some groceries. You know how dope that is. That's like I can't even explain how dope that.
But they can do it though. It's just you have to just really just lock in on your vision and stay consistent. Like if it weren't for my consistency, our boss studio wouldn't provide this. Grand Bay wouldn't do this. So it's a consistency, and a lot of people, when you don't have a purpose, your consistency gets kind of tainted,
Yeah.
right? Because like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that which means something to you. It's always going to be like you have to like throw on like whatever, like the monkey suit on, and then like, okay, I got to be this person today. So for me, it's just like I'm just blessed, man. So it's for me, it's not anything for me to like get overzealous about. You know what I mean? I'm just happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I'm breathing. I got no broken bones. My family's good. I'm not in the deathbed, and I just hope to be able to just give people just that clarity that like you can do it too.
And if they don't know, they need to know. Brother, I got a few more for you before I go. Listen, I did my notes. Now we spoke about time, and we actually fast forwarded to Heroes Eventually Die,
Mm-hmm.
which is a regular and a deluxe version for those who don't know. I want to talk about because I saw the gap, and then there was Before I Say I Do
Oh yeah,
and Red
that's my
October.
favorite.
Break them two
Before,
down for me, brother. I want to
so,
know about.
so before I say I do was like that's when my taste in music changed dramatically. So it was like more Tierra Whack, 103,000. It was more Tory Lanez, Travis Scott, um, Childish Gambino. Like my palette in music just changed because um, my daughter, she was really into Tyler the Creator, so she would send me songs, and when you listen to Apple, it just takes you to somebody else and takes you to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then that's when like during that summer, Apple Music was just like they was like really on their shit. Like everything that they dropped that was on those playlists was like fire. So um, that album, I wanted to make sure that I spoke on all the bad habits that I had with me before I got married. So you know what I mean. So like calling me back was like the thing with the streets. They say they love you. That's like me kind of like holding things over people's heads that, like when someone said they bang with you and they don't, you know what I'm saying? Can't let it go. Like, the exes, the vices, things like that. Better than yourself, that's more so like being petty, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's just like a lot of things that I had to just like release myself from before I made that decision. So that's what all those songs fall in line. And then Red October was like because all of those particular songs in that album felt like bops. You know, like
Yeah.
it was just like, well, can you still rap? But what I wanted to do was that I wanted to showcase the rapping, but I wanted people that I was fans of to like have that joint success. My dream is to have something like how Jay-Z did with the backstage show. That's my dream, to be like, you know, I perform and then Freeway and Beans performs and they do their set and then they bring me back again. I do a song and then Memphis Bleak comes, like, you know what I'm saying? And all my features is all like rocking together. Like that's like a dream that I have. So Red October is like super feature heavy, but it was the combination of just like learning everything I learned from Before I Say I Do on like how to do proper songwriting and then rapping at the same time. So I was trying to like mesh the two.
This let me and then look. I'm looking at the order, right, and now we go back to eventually Heroes. What did P mean by that? I mean, it's plain, right? It's plain. I know what it means, but what did the artist mean when you put that?
So it was more so just kind of like because when I did Hate to Say Goodbye, that was the one where I was gonna stop doing music because my grandmother passed.
Yes, sir.
So it was just kind of like I didn't get to really mourn during that process because we had just did the billboard, and after the billboard, we did a show, and after that show, we had the GMF festival in Tampa, and after that show, then we opened for what's this guy we opened for Made in Tokyo, and after that, it was just like so many things happened. I couldn't get a chance to stop, so I was just like I'll just work through it, and then it just like when they just hit me, and it was just like I was like, nah, I'm good. Like it was just too much to handle, and it was like my first like ever mourning process.
Yeah.
So to get over that, I had to accept the process, and then that's why I realized like you know all of your heroes eventually have to go. You know whether it's like you look at it from like a biblical standpoint, like you know Jesus, or you look at it from a standpoint of like Superman or your parents or your mentors, these older individuals that have lived their life and been here and they share the last moments with you, they eventually have to go. So that's what that whole thing was for. And then she wasn't here to see any of those accomplishments. So the last thing I wanted to do was just give her like a very Afrocentric album. So it's like she's hearing from the heavens, she'll be able to get it. So because Hate to Say Goodbye was like a really dark project. I was like really, but at that time I was like really adamant about signing to Cactus Jack. So I would like hit up Don Toliver, I would hit up Travis Scott like almost like every day and be like, I can make music like this too.
Yeah.
And like I was in love with that dark energy, but but that dark energy just didn't give me a chance to mourn. So once I like, that's why I don't really like, I don't make songs like that. I haven't made a song like that in a minute. But since I released from that, it was like that's when it was I started to understand that okay, that dark matter is like it's really good when it comes to like sonically. Like sonically is like a really good palette. So I can do like deeper voices and higher voices.
Yeah.
And then we take it right October to where I keep it really penny, and then I take it back to Hate to Say Goodbye, and they could be like concise songs like My Friend, and not like over jamming with too much cadences and too many words, and trust the spacing and music and stuff like that. So I can do a song like What Your Love Really Cost, and like really just focus on like the building, words behind it and stuff like that. And I'm able to do songs with Rule Love where it's like 3 instruments, but it's like I'm so confident in the spacing with it and what I'm saying that I can kind of like put it all together. So all of those things had to happen. I wouldn't skip no steps.
And I noticed, I know there's some artists that you mentioned you don't make music like that anymore, but you didn't take it down. So you're allowing us to still see your steps. Like you're
definitely.
literally planting seeds, baby.
I'm a huge fan of them, but it's like I do understand that like if you dive into that world and you're not mentally prepared for it, it will eat you up alive. You dive into that world where it's just like, drugs and partying every day, it's going to eat you up alive if you're not prepared for it. And a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't have the mental stability. I've been lucky, I've lived on my own when I was 17. Like I was in the streets and shit like that too. So, and then I lived on my own here in Tampa. So it's like I've been groomed enough to understand that it's like waking up to be at somewhere on time is very important. Speaking to your elders properly is important. Respect is a big thing. So some of the thing is those recreational things, I don't judge anybody on it, but those things can alter your personality, and then sometimes you think that's who you are in that mode, or you need to rely on that, and it's a very addictive personality, and it could destroy you early. So that's why I kind of like I stepped away from it, because like though the energy feels good like that adrenaline, but it's just like, it's like drinking too much coffee. So you drink too much coffee is bad for you. Anything that you get too much of is bad for you.
Thanks. Thanks. My dude, when the journey is still going, right?
Mhm.
We're not stopping. But as of right now, what would you say has been your biggest accomplishment?
I would say other than being able to like bring my band on all the stages that I manifested, I would say putting my daughter on the song. I think that's like one of my biggest accomplishments. Like I watched her the little piano. I got a little piano, and I remember everyone was just like, "Oh, it's gonna be so loud." And I watched her, and I caught her. Actually, Ange caught her on film and sent it to me. She's like, "Oh, she's playing the piano." Then I took that, I gave it to Wild Child, and we created Oh No. So that's like one of my biggest accomplishments. And then just like the accolades as well too. No, I like they're on my wall at the crib, so it's like I see them so much, it doesn't even like really mean anything to me, like how I did back then. But I did that because my mom always held over me that I didn't have a degree. So like I don't got a degree, but I got a billboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was like really big for me, because then I was able to like, get with investors and drop another record and then get a #1 on iTunes, and it just kind of just like expanded. So, you know, I feel like those things were put there so other people can kind of like be able to piggyback off of. But I think if I'm speaking from today, my two accomplishments I'd say would be having my daughter on my song, and just being able to take the band. Because when you perform with some guys in the band, and you're like, yeah, we're going to be at this festival, we're going to be open for G Easy and perform for the 5,000 people. It's just like, yeah, whatever, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So to manifest that, and those boys stick around, and I think that's like my pride and joy.
Let's do this. Protect pressure at all costs. Protect at all costs. Yeah. Moving on. For the people that's here,
hmm
I had to do something for the fans.
Okay.
What is an interesting fact about you
hmm
that the fans don't know or wouldn't know unless you told them?
I could really play basketball. For some reason, people think I don't play ball. I play collegiately. I can really play basketball. But I mean, you wouldn't know if I had this song. So yeah, I would say that, and then I would say that, and I was Muslim at one point in time in my life. So those are like the two things that people wouldn't really know until today.
Said it was Sleazy Jones, man. P, brother, this was amazing. This
Thank you,
was
man.
amazing. I am extremely grateful to you today. As I said before, this cannot be your only time here. It
Yeah,
only took a year, but hey, I don't care if it takes another one, brother. This has been a great conversation, man. Let your people know what we got coming up. You got some shows coming up, and
yeah,
we got the Rude Love single. Do we
yes.
have a new project coming out? Let me know what's cracking with P, man.
So right now we have a couple singles out right now. We have Rude Love. We also have Like Whoa featuring Sam Hughes. We also have the one with Tory Lanez as well too, called Fly Shit. And yeah, like you guys can just follow me anywhere. Just Google PUSHAPREME. Something positive is gonna pull up. Go through YouTube, go through the journey. We just did the distribution with Rock Nation, so we're working on another label for us so that we kind of expand the business. This weekend we're open for Gucci Man and Boston Richie in Orlando. Then we come back to Tampa, and we're performing at Flag Day. Then on October 5th, we're doing Rock the Park at Curtis Hickson Park. So, we're just gonna just keep moving. Pretty soon, we'll be overseas, God willing. And like, yeah, just tune in, man. I think if anybody just wants to tune in and get inspired, I drop a lot of gems on like how to like publish your music properly, and songwriting tips and things like that. I just want to give the wisdom that was really given to me until I got later in the game. So
Let's do this. That made me just think of one more question before I let you go, brother.
I have a question for you too.
Please, no, please, you first. Please.
What's your favorite project?
My favorite project of you? Take a guess.
Um, I think Red October.
Things I must
For real?
earn.
Oh my god! I gotta rehear that shit. The quality.
Please relive,
The
my
quality.
dude. When I tell you right now, listen, hold on. He think I'm playing. Hold
My
on,
favorite song on that thing is that on that one is Red Light. I really like Red Light. That was my shit.
dude.
You like Time,
This
and you definitely like Blame the Skies. Blame the Skies. Oh my god, we got super personal. I talked about the miscarriage and everything. That was mad personal. Oh wow, that's so crazy. I gotta rehear that.
I literally, and I downloaded everything that was available now. Now I did that, but when I was doing my research, you know what I mean? Because of course I went to eventually Heroes Will Die because those are the newest ones. So I'm checking it out, I'm grooving, and as I'm looking doing my homework, that's when I saw that, and I just clicked on it. And some type of way, I don't know how, brother. Every day was the first song I played.
Oh yeah, every day.
And I was like, then I went back, and I'm just like, then I went back to eventually Heroes Will Die, and I'm just like, oh, I had other questions. I'm like, nope, crap.
Yeah, there's way more. I see what you mean. Yeah, there's way more storytelling because I remember.
You see what I'm saying? And then to know that, and now you're making us groove it, dude. You're making us think, making us laugh, making us cry. You get all that in time, and then you spread yourself out with the others. That's my opinion. I could never, you are the artist, but my favorite
No, no,
project,
I
brother,
appreciate, I appreciate
man,
that.
now, I ain't gonna lie. I'll say this though. Favorite project is time, favorite song is when. I use that for the pro. I just like it. Where did that I listen, brother, I've been playing that since we made it official. He's like, yeah, yeah, we go and put it in the calendar, woo woo. I'm like, yep, every day since then. And
When you,
I can't wait to hear what else is come because you have a naturalness. Uh, it's just I am a fan of genuine P. You're genuine, and on top of if somebody looked at you and you didn't say nothing, the haters and the people that like to pick out things. They be like, "Oh, this dude think he this," But as soon as you talk humble, like, oh, I'm gonna buy this guy a drink because I feel like an asshole now. Like I feel like a straight ass because it was nothing like I thought. Nothing like I thought. My question was, what does it take to get a feature with P? Because you don't just do regular music. And that's what made me think of that. So is there a certain artist you're looking for to work with? Because I know you don't judge. It's all in you. You don't have that in you. But is there a certain specific artist that you have to be in order to work with people?
no, not at all, not at all, not at all. Just if I like the record and I know your direction with it, then we just kind of go from there. Because like I tell some people, some people hit me up like maybe after a show or after an event, and I try to tell them like you don't have to book the feature. If you just want the advice, you can just get the advice. You don't have to do it like all the other stuff. How are you? So sometimes they feel like, oh, I need to do the records to be able to like get like maybe they want the clout, maybe they want this, maybe they want that, and really, sure, no, you don't need any of that. If you just need the advice, that's fine. Like you don't have to force me on a record, or. But if that's what you want, and Like, it's like, T handles the business, Rico handles the business, and it's like, we're very fair in business. We make sure that, like, hey, like, we don't, we're not taking your coins and like leaving you like dead in the water. It's like, okay, like, hey, this is what works for me. What works for you? Okay, cool. Let's see how we can combine that so you can kind of like maximize on this feature. That way, it's like you'll get what you're spending back on your streaming, or back on your publishing. Or if you don't know any of that, then I can help you, and I'll connect it with the MLC. That way, you'll connect both sides of the streaming money. Like little things like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I want it to be definitely, as creative as possible. Sometimes you just have to just catch me in the mix, and then it could just be a record, and we don't have to do the business right then and there. But eventually, right, because like if you want to put it out and we want to monetize it, you have to make
Yeah.
sure we do things the right way.
Yeah. Y'all see that? That's why I asked him that because I knew the answer was gonna be similar to that. Because you're a giver, sir. You're a giver. I have to say, man, this is one of my favorite sit
Oh,
downs today. I am extremely grateful for this, brother. Thank you so much again. Like I say, we will be watching. If you're not following this dude, something is wrong with you. I need you to fix that. We forgive you, but please fix that, brother. But before I get up out of here, P, is there any final thoughts you'd like to share with us before we go tonight?
oh yeah, no, just anyone out there, make sure you tap in. My brother, make sure y'all follow him. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys, artists that want to tap in with interviews, hit him up. Make sure you have your EPK and everything right. And yeah, we have to support one another and make sure that we keep this going. We keep the art going because the art is the most important thing.
I ain't gonna cry now, but I'm gonna cry in the car. I'm gonna cry in the car. He
I
gonna cry in
appreciate
the car. P, thank you so much, brother, for
it.
coming tonight. And I'd like to thank everybody tonight for tuning in to the Logic Lounge with Fleazy Jones. That's me. Episode 93 brought to you by Block Legend 7. Yo, P, I'm going to end it how I always end it, brother. I tell them living off good instinct counts. So always keep your lives.
Oh,
Love y'all. See you next week.
see y'all.
Peace.